Welcome back. I've taken a little bit of a break actually from making everything. I've completely finished everything from pack 10. The only thing I have to do is finish painting this side of the chainwheels and then touch up the back, because there's a little bit of black paint that's sprinkled in places of the yellow around the chainwheels. The bowsprit yards, I'm going to make these later, as I really don't want to do them now, to be honest. But what we're going to start doing is actually making the cat heads and eking rails, I believe that's what they're called. So what we're going to have to do for the cat heads is actually make it out of 6x6 wood, and then use these bracket laser cut pieces to shape them, and then when they're made, I'm going to make a cutout, and then when that's done I'll show you how we're going to be installing everything. Okay, so what I'm doing now is cutting away at the top mouldings so it actually fits, because as you can see, this is where it fits right now. And then we're going to be putting the cat head in place. No, it's called the eking rail, sorry. And when that's in place, I'll show you how we're going to start putting on the cat heads. As you can see, both are in place. Now what we're going to have to do is paint it. This eking, something like that, is painted yellow. All of this is painted yellow, but this back brace here is painted black. So I'm going to paint all of that, and then we'll be moving on to the stern davits, which are like long poles at the end. So yeah, it's looking beautiful. Okay, as you can see, I've painted the chainwheels. Now all I've got to do is just paint all this bit here yellow ochre. When that's done, we are going to skip fitting the davits, because apparently there's speculation that the davits were removed before the Battle of Trafalgar, so I'm not going to actually have them in place. But what we are doing is moving on to the stage 92, and what we're going to be doing is these pin rails that we've installed. I'm going to be putting the actual belaying pins in, and when that's done we'll start painting the beakhead. So, as you can see, I started to paint the beakhead with the yellow outlines, both sides. It's not the prettiest, but it'll all look alright. What I'm going to do now is, when this is dry, I'm going to mask over all the pieces and add the blue onto the beakhead. And when that's done, we'll start adding pendants to the masts. You can see the whole front is painted. What I'm going to do now is start tying the pendants to the masts. They're just nice and simple, tying 2 lengths to dangle down, and then they look like that in the end. Okay, the pendants have been tied. Now what we're going to do is, for the foremast, we're going to start adding the shrouds. What we're basically doing is just tying knots, so 2 lengths of string will go down to the right places. There's one here and one here. All the small ones are ignored for now. So yeah, what we're going to be doing now is just doing that, tying on both sides. So there's a nice thick shroud on the top, and they all hang down like that. So yeah, it'll start now. As you can see, all the shrouds have been tied now on both sides. I'm just using electrical tape to hold the shrouds in the correct positions and correct order so they don't get tangled. So this is one finished side, and then what I'm going to start doing now actually is we are going to start fitting dead eyes on this side, and then when we're done with that we'll complete it on the other side. So what we have to do first is actually make a little tool out of wire, a little jig. So I'm going to make that now. Just 2 pieces of wire is bent and then taped together with some tape. So I'll show you that in a second. Okay, so this is the shroud jigs. What we're going to have to do now is get the end piece of string, and then, because it's at the right height, tie it around and bind it like we have earlier. And when that's done I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll move on to the I'll just do all of them off camera after I've showed you what it looks like. As you can see, I've tied 3 of the dead eyes so far, binded them. It just takes a while, but I'm now going to be moving on to all of these. So yeah, you can see all of the 4-mast shrouds are fully binded. What we're going to do now is move on to the main mast. What we're going to do is start off by putting the mast in, and then we're going to make the support ropes that we did earlier. I forgot what they were called. And then we're going to continue by actually adding all of these foot ropes and then binding them. And yeah, after that I'll show you what that looks like, and then we'll move on to the mizzen mast. This is taking a very long time, and yeah, it's a very messy job as well, as you can see by my fingers covered in super glue. But yeah, it will look very nice in the end. What I'm going to start doing now is put both foot ropes on the mizzen and the main mast. 4 masts is done. On these 2 masts now, what I'm going to do is I will tie all of the shrouds so they're right length, and I'll tie them together, but I won't add the dead eyes yet. But what I will do is I'm going to save doing the dead eyes for another time, because my hands are an absolute mess from doing them, and I'm going to be moving on to actually making the hammock nets, which are everywhere, all over the model. So yeah, you can see the first net is fitted. What I'm going to do now is put one on here, literally the same method but up here, yeah, it's nice and simple once you get the idea of it, but it does take quite a while, to be honest. Okay, so while I'm making this, these hammock nets, what I'm actually going to do is make the hammocks as well. So these hammocks are done. I've still got all this side to do. So we're going to use 30 by 30mm squares and wrapping it with 0.25mm thread to make a little hammock. And that's going to go in as layers into here. So yeah, as you can see, this is the one side filled up with hammocks. Also fill this one. Now I'm going to continue all the way down the ship with the mesh and the hammocks, filling it all in. It's a long process. As you can see, all the netting has been put on. The only place I need to put the hammocks is here and here. I just need to make some more. But all that side is finished. And what we're going to do now is I've added all the shrouds on the foremast. I've still got one side to do on the mainmast and one side on the mizzenmast. So I'm going to continue making these shrouds now. And after that, I believe we're going to start fitting the bowsprit. You can see the bowsprit is now fitted. We've tied 2 lengths of thread 5 times from these 2 tabs around the grooves through the gratings. Now what we're going to move on to is we're going to start making the top shrouds. What I've done now for the fore and mainmast is added 2 topmast pendants, and now what we're going to start is adding the dead eyes to the fighting tops. What we're going to do is get 200 long pieces like this and then put it through the top on all the masts, and then when that's done I'll show you what it looks like, and we'll move on to adding the top shrouds.